Hi everyone, I'm so happy you're here. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 books that I have to read in 2025. There are a lot of books that I would like to read in the new year, but these 10 specifically are books that have either sat on my TBR for many years and I just haven't gotten to them, or I've recently gotten them and I'm highly anticipating reading them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, the first book up is Wishtress by Nadine Brandes. This is Christian fiction. It's young adult fantasy. I'm usually not a big fantasy reader. I can't remember the last time I read a fantasy book. It was probably in grade school sometime, middle school or high school. But this has been highly hyped up on YouTube, so I'm going to give it a shot. It's been on my TBR for like 2 years now, so it's time. I'll read the synopsis here. It says, "She didn't ask to be the Wishtress. Mirth was born with the ability to turn her tears into wishes, but when a granted wish goes wrong, she's cursed. The next tear she sheds will kill her. She must travel to the well to break the curse before it can claim her life and before the king's militarian find her. To survive the journey, Mirth must harden her heart to keep herself from crying even a single tear. He can stop time with a snap of his fingers. Bastian's powerful and rare talent come in handy when he kidnapped the old king. Now the new king has a job for him, find the Wishtress and deliver her to the Skloss. But Bastian needs a wish of his own. He gains Mirth's trust by promising to take her to the well, but once he gets what he needs, he'll turn her in, as long as his growing feelings for the girl with the stone heart don't compromise him. Their quest can end only one way, with her death. Everyone seems to need a wish. The king, Mirth's cousin, the boy she thinks she loves. And they're ready to bully, beg, and betray her for it. No one knows what to grant. That to grant even one wish, Mirth would pay with her life. And if she tells them about the curse, they'll just kill her anyway." See, that synopsis already lost me. And there was difficulty pronunciating words there. So we'll see how this goes. It's over 400 pages, but I am excited for it. It's just those are the reasons it sat on my TBR for 2 years. Next up is When the Day Comes by Gabriel Meyer. This is Christian historical fiction, and there's time travel and romance in it. And this is another one that has been hyped up on YouTube. My mom has read all of the books that are out so far because I think there's 4 of them in the Timeless series, and she has absolutely loved them. So I'm really looking forward to getting started on this one. It says, "How will she choose, knowing all she must sacrifice? Libby has been given a powerful gift, to live one life in 1774 colonial Williamsburg and the other in 1914 Gilded Age New York City. When she falls asleep in one life, she wakes up in the other. While she's the same person at her core, in both times she's leading 2 vastly different lives. In colonial Williamsburg, Libby is a public printer for the House of Burgesses and the royal governor, trying to provide for her family and support the patriot cause. The man she loves, Henry Montgomery, has his own secrets. As the revolution draws near, both their lives and any hope of love are put in jeopardy. Libby's life in 1914 New York is filled with wealth, drawing room conversations, and bachelors, but the only work she cares about, women's suffrage, is discouraged, and her mother is intent on marrying her off to an English marquise. The growing talk of war in Europe only complicates matters, but Libby knows she's not destined to live 2 lives forever. On her 21st birthday, she must choose one path and forfeit the other. But how can she choose when she has so much to lose in each life?" I cannot wait to get to this one. Then we have By Way of the Moonlight by Elizabeth Musser. And I'm not sure I pronounced her last name correctly, but this is Christian historical fiction, and I got this for a birthday gift 2 years ago, I believe, so it's definitely time that I get to it. This one says, "For as long as she can remember, Allie Macy, a gifted physical therapist, has dreamed of making her grandparents' 10-acre estate into a trauma recovery center using equine therapy, a dream her grandmother, Nana Dale, embraced wholeheartedly. But when her grandmother's will is read, Allie is shocked to learn the property has been sold to a developer. Decades earlier, headstrong Dale Butler's driving passion is to bring home the prized filly her family lost to the Great Depression. But with World War II looming, she's called upon in ways she never could have imagined, and while her world expands to include new friends and new love, tragedy strikes close to home one fateful night during the Battle of the Atlantic, changing her life forever. As Nina Dale's past comes to light, in Allie's search for answers, Dale's courage and persistence may be just what Allie needs to carry on her grandmother's legacy and keep her own dreams alive. So, very excited for this one. Next up is Truth is a Whisper by Mandy Blake, and this is a Christian romance. I got this for my birthday 2 birthdays ago, also, I think the same time I got the Moonlight book. So, I'm very much so looking forward to reading this. Book lover Amanda highly recommends Mandy Blake's books. So this is the first one in the Wolf Creek series. I only have this one, so if I end up liking it, I'll have to pick up the rest of the series. But this one says, they both want the truth, but are they willing to pay the price? Ava Collins is more than ready to say goodbye to the breakneck pace of the city, and an invitation to her grandfather's ranch is exactly what she needs. Finding out her former flame is running the ranch, on the other hand, was entirely unexpected. How can she put aside her memories of that whirlwind summer when she has to work beside the handsome cowboy every day? Jameson Ford was grateful to be offered the new foreman job at Wolf Creek Ranch. He's eager to prove himself, but quickly distracted by the reappearance of his first love, who also happens to be his boss's granddaughter. It's been years since they promised each other forever, and neither of them knew how to pick up where they left off, or if they should forget it ever happened. Allied by their love of the ranch, Jameson and Ava have to work together despite the lingering feelings between them. When Ava uncovers secrets about her family, she doesn't know if she can trust anyone. Most of all, can she learn to trust her heart on her way to discovering the truth? It sounds so good. I am pumped. Then I have Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers, and this is Christian historical fiction romance. And here's the cover of it. I think this is the edition from when the movie came out, which I haven't seen the movie either, and I've had this book for years, and basically just the size of it is why I've put off reading it for so long. I did the same thing with the Mark of the Lion series, which I ended up reading last year and absolutely loved, so I have high hopes for this one. This says, California's Gold Country, 1850. A time when men sold their souls for a bag of gold and women sold their bodies for a place to sleep. Oh, dear. I have heard that this is intense. Okay. Angel expects nothing from men but betrayal. Sold into prostitution as a child, she survives by keeping her hatred alive. And what she hates most are the men who use her, leaving her empty and dead inside. Then she meets Michael Hosea, a man who seeks his father's heart in everything. Michael obeys God's call to marry Angel and to love her unconditionally. Slowly, day by day, he defies Angel's every bitter expectation until, despite her resistance, her frozen heart begins to thaw. But with her unexpected softening comes overwhelming feelings of unworthiness and fear, and so Angel runs. Back to the darkness, away from her husband's pursuing love, terrified of the truth she no longer can deny. Her final healing must come from the one who loves her even more than Michael does, the one who will never let her go. A powerful retelling of the story of Gomer and Hosea. Redeeming Love is a life-changing story of God's unconditional, redemptive, all-consuming love. So is this based on a true story? It sounds like it is. If you know, leave it in the comments below, because I hadn't even read the back of this for years, so I forgot what it was about. But it sounds really good. I'm looking forward to reading that one. The next one is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And this one I've had for many years and just haven't gotten to. I've just been putting this off because of its length, and because when something has chronology in the beginning of the book, and I think it had like definitions and maybe I don't know where that was. Yeah, there's just like extra notes in the back to help you like understand the book. That just makes me nervous. I don't want a book to slow me down in my reading, but it's a classic and I need to read it. There's no synopsis in this, but all I know is it's a romance, and I know it's about Elizabeth Bennet and Mr. Darcy. and you all have probably read it or know what it's about. So looking forward to finally getting to this one. Next up is The Case for Faith by Lee Strobel. I got this last year and just didn't get to it, but Oshina from Oshina Gotta Read 'Em All highly recommends this book, and I've just recently seen some other people on Instagram recommend it as well. So this one says, find your way to God by asking your most difficult questions about faith. In The Case for Faith, best-selling author, journalist, and former atheist Lee Strobel turns his investigative skills to the most persistent emotional objections to belief in God, the 8 heart barriers to faith. Since evil and suffering exist, a loving God cannot. Since miracles contradict science, they cannot be true. Evolution explains life, so God isn't needed. God isn't worthy of worship if he kills innocent children. It's offensive to claim Jesus is the only way to God. A loving God would never torture people in hell. Church history is littered with oppression and violence. I still have doubts, so I can't be a Christian. Whether you are a skeptic with serious questions or a Christian who struggles with moments of doubt, Strobel guides you to reasoned answers that will inspire confidence and conviction. This timeless and thought-provoking book on the Christian faith, now updated, includes a new chapter and an up-to-date list of recommendation resources for further study, a new epilogue, and a new Q&A with the author. So, this sounds like it's set up different than any nonfiction book that I've read, so I'm intrigued by this, looking forward to it. Then we have All That Really Matters by Nicole Deese. I love the cover of this one. This is Christian contemporary romance, and my mom read this probably 3 years ago by now, and she absolutely loved it. She hasn't loved some of Nicole's newer books, and so I don't know, but I know she loved this one and the second book in this series, so I'm excited to give it a try. It says, Molly Mackenzie's bright personality and on-trend fashion and beauty advice have made her a major social media influencer. When her manager turned boyfriend tells her of an upcoming audition to host a makeover show for America's underprivileged youth, all her dreams finally seem to be coming true. There's just one catch. She has little experience interacting with people in need. To gain an edge on her competitors, she plans to volunteer for the summer at a transitional program for aged-out foster kids. But the program's director, Silas Whitaker, doesn't find her as charming as her followers do. Despite his ridiculous rules and terms, Molly dives into mentoring, surprising herself with the genuine connections and concern she quickly develops for the girls and Silas. But just as everything seems perfectly aligned for her professional future, it starts to crumble under the pressure. And as her once narrow focus opens to the deep needs of those she's come to know, she must face the ones she's neglected inside herself for so long. I haven't read the back of this for a while either. This sounds so good. The only reason I put it off is, once again, because of the size. It's just over 400 pages, but hopefully it is an easy read and I enjoy it. Then we have Laurel's Dream by Pepper Basham. Another really pretty cover. This is Christian historical fiction, and I've had this for about 2 years and just haven't gotten to it. It says, dreams are precious commodities in the Blue Ridge Mountains of 1918, and Laurel McAdams is attempting to make her dreams come true. But sometimes life in the mountains has a way of squandering dreams. As she attempts to avoid matrimony, she is secretly saving for her future with the sole purpose of becoming a teacher and bringing consistent education back to her people. Having failed his British father again by being unable to fight in the Great War, Jonathan Taylor joins his uncle's missionary endeavors as a teacher in a 2-room schoolhouse in Appalachia. But nothing prepares him for the rugged wilderness, narrow-minded natives, and Laurel McAdams. Her joy and friendship prove a guiding light in the middle of his new responsibilities and tempt his timid heart toward a future she never expected. But when Jonathan's teaching methods lead to dangerous outcomes and Laurel's dream is threatened by an unexpected choice, will these two learn how to find hope and maybe even love beyond the heartache? Can Jonathan and Laurel create a new dream from the shattered pieces of the old ones, or will bitterness and brokenness keep them apart? I absolutely love the Grace and Freddie mystery series by Pepper Basham, and I don't think I've read any of her books outside of that series, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how this one goes. And last but not least, I have The Women of Wynton by Donna Muma. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but I love the cover of this book. I only got this a few months ago, but it's just one I'm highly anticipating reading. I feel like it has kind of a unique storyline. So this one says, mid-century glam meets murder mayhem. Get swept away to the glamour of a 1950s department store where four women's loyalties, vanity, friendship, and detective skills are put to the test. So, yeah, I just think this sounds unique and fun. So, looking forward to that. All right, those are the 10 books that I have to read in 2025. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these books yourselves. And if you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It would mean the world to me. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that are here and watching my videos, supporting me. It means the world to me. I hope you all have an amazing week, and I'll see you next time. Bye. When something has like a chronology,